Economy is a system that fairly and sustainably manages the limited resources such as land, labor, and capital. It exists to support the society and enhance the well-being of humanity. The goal of economy is to improve the living conditions and the status of the people. However, due to the rapidly increasing population along with the increasing demands, humans have done irreparable damage in the environment by removing resources almost beyond the planet's biocapacity. As human and as part of the economy, we should protect and support the environment in which our economy depends on to have a sustainable economy. So what is sustainable economy? A sustainable economy is an economy that provides a good quality of life for everybody while staying within the limits of the planet. It is an economy that can sustain itself and the people in the future even if there is a depletion of resources and increase in population while ensuring that the environment is not extensively destroyed because of economic activities such as in agriculture, forestry, or in manufacturing technologies. To become truly sustainable in economic terms, the ecological footprint or the overall demand for natural resources must be less than the nature's renewable supply of resources or biocapacity. But since we already damaged the environment and we are almost using resources beyond the planet's biocapacity, we can define sustainable economy as an economy that enhances the environmental and social systems on which and where economy depends. This is according to John Keegan, a professor in the University of Queensland in Australia. So when both environmental and social systems are enhanced, a sustainable economy is achieved and the economy will have the following characteristics. The economy will successfully meet the needs of everyone in the community and makes every people safe, healthy, and happy. And also, the economy will become vibrant with higher employment rates and opportunities. Thus, working lives will be more rewarding. And to clearly understand and know more about sustainable economy, the next reporters will discuss you the principles of a sustainable economy and the several ways that we and the government can do to achieve a sustainable economy.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mary Jane Comania, and today I will discuss the following principles of sustainable economy. First is from the faction of ecological principles, the holism. The principle of holism can be summarized by the simple statement: a whole is more than the sum of its parts. The essence of the whole of living systems, biological or social, is not fully embodied in their individual parts or members. Wholes have properties that emerge only when the parts come together to form a coherent organization, or whole. Parts have properties when they are connected within the whole that disappear when they are separated or isolated from the whole. The relationships among the parts of wholes matter. When the relationship change, the whole is changed. The second essential principle of ecological sustainability is diversity. The whole of a thing is said to be diverse if it has a variety of different or dissimilar elements or parts. Nature is inherently diverse as can be readily observable. If nature were not diverse, it would not be capable of sustaining life. Entropy can be defined as a process of degrading or using up the usefulness of energy and matter. The ultimate state of entropy is characterized by inert uniformity of component, elements, the absence of form, pattern, structure, or differentiation. Barren deserts receive an abundance of solar energy but are capable of supporting relatively little life because they are lacking in ecological diversity. Ecosystems completely lacking in diversity are incapable of supporting life. Diversity gives living systems their capacities to renew and regenerate, to live, grow, mature, produce, reproduce, and evolve. Diversity provides the resilience needed to endure and recover from unexpected threats to health or life, such as physical attacks and disease. Diversity allows living systems to adapt and evolve to accommodate their ever-changing environment. Even if the specific nature of a threat is not fully understood, people can readily understand that loss of diversity in general represents a growing threat to the future of human life on Earth. The third essential ecological principle of sustainability is interdependence. Dependent relationships are exploitative, and dependence is limiting, but interdependent relationships are mutually beneficial. There are no losers. Interdependence is the reward of payoff for respecting the principles of holism and diversity. Within interdependent systems, the output of one process becomes input for others. The wastes of one species provide resources for other species. For example, each species in a diverse natural ecosystems provide the food or energy needed by other species. Interdependence allows the control of natural ecosystems to be decentralized or dispersed rather than centralized or consolidated. Next is from the faction of economic principles of sustainability. Number 1, the scarcity. Scarcity is an essential principle of economic sustainability. Things have economic value only if they are scarce, meaning there is not enough for everyone to have all they want. The economic or exchange value of something is different from its intrinsic or use value. Intrinsic value is determined by necessity. Economic value is determined by scarcity. For example, air most certainty is valuable to human life, but it has no economic value. Air only becomes economically valuable when it becomes sufficiently restricted, polluted, or degraded to make a good, clean air scarce. People then are forced to pay the cost of keeping clean air available. Air then has economic value. This may sound simple, but many people don't seem to understand that the economy doesn't necessarily value things that are important to society and humanity. As something becomes less scarce, it has less economic value. The law of diminishing returns, the economic laws of supply and demand, are derived directly from the basic economic principle. Second is the efficiency. The principle of efficiency is also essential to economic sustainability. Economic efficiency refers to economic value relative to economic cost. The greater the value relative to cost, the greater the efficiency. The natural and human resources used to produce things of economic value often have a variety of alternative uses. Wood, coal, oil, and natural gas, for example, can be used by a variety of means in manufacturing, generation of electricity, transportation, and home heating. Many laborers and managers have a wide variety of employable skills and talents, and thus a variety of employment opportunities. Economic efficiency is achieved by putting natural and human resources to their highest or best economic use, meaning their greatest economic value relative to their economic cost. The next one is sovereignty. Sovereignty, or freedom to choose, is the first principle of economic sustainability. If people are not free to make economic choices, the concepts of scarcity and efficiency are of little consequence, at least not to them individually. People must be free to determine or discover their needs and wants for themselves, without persuasion or coercion from others. They must have accurate information so they can know the ultimate value of things before they choose to buy them, to avoid regret for the choices they have made. Most economists assume that people are sovereign without questioning whether they actually are free to choose. After all, no one is forcing people to buy things. Perhaps people aren't forced to buy anything, but billions of dollars are spent each year on advertising designed to persuade, coerce, and create social pressures to convince people to buy things they don't need or even want. In addition, Many people have sacrificed their economic sovereignty through excessive borrowing, which limits their economic opportunities for the future. Economic sovereignty is essential for economic sustainability. To live and make a living in a sustainable society, people must respect the economic principles: scarcity, efficiency, and sovereignty.
Hi everyone, I am Maria Angelo Ed Bayan, and I am now going to tackle about the principles of a sustainable economy. Protecting the productive capacity of nature and society is like meeting the needs to achieve a more sustainable economy. Since economic value alone is inadequate to ensure a sustainable economy, then there is a need to bring in ecological and social values to make effective decisions. Sustainable economy must be guided by the principles of resourcefulness, resilience, and regeneration, which characterizes a healthy and a living ecosystem. A sustainable economy also is constrained by ecological, social, and economic principles. However, without the ethical principles, we wouldn't probably achieve a sustainable economy if not because of ethics. Apparently, there are four principles of a sustainable economy: the ecological, social, economic, and ethical principles. So let us begin with the sustainable economy's ecological principle. Ecological principle has three essential principles. The first principle is holism, meaning everything is interconnected. The principle of holism can be summarized by the simple statement, a whole is more than the sum of its parts, meaning the essence of becoming a whole is very important. The relationships among the parts of wholes also matter because when the relationships change, the whole is also changed. When we ignore the perils of holism, it might give us the most critical consequences. The next principle we have in ecological principle is the diversity. It is defined as the foundation of resilience. The whole of a thing is said to be diverse if it has a variety of different or dissimilar elements or parts. For example, in nature, it is inherently diverse as can be readily observable. If it were not diverse, it would not be capable of sustaining life, just like when an ecosystem is completely lacking in diversity. Diversity is necessary for regeneration and renewal, for resilience and resistance, and for the adaptation and evolution needed to accommodate inevitable changes like threats to human life. Even if that threat is not yet fully understood, people can readily understand that loss of diversity in general represents a growing threat of the future of human life on Earth. The last principle we have in ecological principle is the interdependence or the win-win principle. Interdependence is the reward for respecting the principles of holism and diversity. Within interdependent systems, the output of one process becomes input for others. On the other word, the waste of one species provide resources for the others. People always have a choice between continuing to exploit and extract from nature or instead choose to renew and regenerate nature. It's a win-win principle. So the physical and biological relationships within and among sustainable economy must be interdependent or mutually beneficial. So let us now proceed to the next principle of a sustainable economy, which is the social principle. Same with the ecological principle, it also has three essential principles, mainly the trust, kindness, and courage. These basic principles reflect a set of common core values. The first essential principle of social principle is trust. The core values of honesty, fairness, and responsibility together define the principle of trust. Trust is an essential aspect to sustain in the social system since people trust people. They build the social energy or social capital needed to sustain the human resources of a community. A sustainable community must build upon relationships of trust to strengthen any relationships. The core values of respect and compassion, along with the empathy, defines the principle of kindness. People act with kindness when they are empathetic, when they are able to see themselves in the place of others, and then to treat the other as they would like to be treated. Kindness is rooted in respect, and that makes it goes beyond impartially and brutal honesty, showing compassion whenever mercy is more appropriate than justice. Trust and kindness accomplish little without the courage to take action. The social principle of courage is built upon the core values of self-confidence, discipline, and perseverance. It takes courage to form meaningful relationship with other people and persevere through times of inevitable misunderstanding and disappointment. People of courage have self-confidence, a commitment to purpose, and the discipline to live by principles. The people of sustainable economy must find the courage to reject deception, inequity, irresponsibility, ruthlessness, and disrespect, and must be built on a foundation of moral courage.
I am Lucille Angela A. Familiar, and here are four of the 8 steps towards sustainable economy. First is to ensure stimulus packages to shape a sustainable future. When clean economy jobs are put at the center of stimulus programs, both long and short-term jobs will achieve a diverse workforce. Hundreds of thousands of jobs and workplaces will soon be created across the countries using wind, solar, and grid projects. Government plans and actions can be used to support labor-intensive work such as factories to create energy efficiency projects in buildings and in industries. And in return, these carbon-emitting industries must commit to carbon reduction. Second is to invest in the future. Rather than bail out the past, the better response is to enable businesses to become leaders in the future by enabling investments in technologies such as batteries, hydrogen, electric transportation, and AI. And in areas as diverse as sustainable agriculture, clean environment, and clean food. It is also critical to invest in undercapitalized developing countries, which are the growth markets of the future, and which are critical to meeting climate goals. Third is to empower the consumer. The more engaged the consumer, the greater the likelihood that stimulus packages will make positive impacts. Trust is important, and the product's efficiency inside household and also automobiles help provide empowerment to consumers. Incentives and fees can also shape consumer behavior and drive green investment. One example is the Republic Act No. 8749, otherwise known as the Philippine Clean Air Act, that minimizes the carbon emission between vehicles and industries to achieve and maintain healthy air for all Filipinos. And fourth is create a level playing field for clean energy. In the Philippines, clean and renewable energy sources like geothermal, hydro, wind, biomass, and solar energy are among the country's few competitive advantages. The introduction of these natural energy would motivate highly needed investments for clean infrastructure and provide regulatory certainty to investors and businesses. This creates a wave of entrepreneurship that can quickly stimulate the economy and benefit the environment.
The 8 steps toward sustainable economy. The fifth is modernize existing infrastructure. Over many years, facility infrastructure has been allowed to deteriorate and many now lack of modern technology and physical infrastructure to maintain safe, efficient, resilient, and flexible operation under emergency and new normal condition. Renewed facilities must meet modern standard for energy efficiency and air and water quality and minimize long-term operational cost. Example is the modernizing public transport here in the Philippines. Program of the Philippines aims to transport the road sector of public transport through the introduction of super climate-friendly vehicles, improve the urban quality of life, reduce economic losses due to time lost in travel, reduced health cost and premature death, reduces greenhouse gas emission, and improve the economic situation of the operators and industry by improving service quality levels. Next is simplify government bureaucracy. One big obstacle to investment in clean energy is complex and burdensome regulation. The federal bureaucracy performs three primary tasks in government: the implementation, administration, and regulation. The example here in the Philippines, the windmill farm in Ilocos, in which a wind turbine creates reliable, cost-effective, pollution-free energy and sustainable. Because wind is a source of energy which is non-polluting and renewable. The turbines create power without using fossil fuels, that is, without producing greenhouse gas or radioactive or toxic waste. And next is encourage state-of-the-art electricity system installation. Electricity companies across the world have done a very good job of maintaining electricity reliability despite the coronavirus. The crisis has also shown that our power system can operate with greater amount of intermittent renewables than previous thought. And going forward, electrification of transport and building. It is the next big opportunity and challenges for the power system. But the solar energy is one of the example of the environmental friendly energy and also has a special role to play in improving access to cleaner energy in remote areas. The positive potential of solar energy is not only its availability but also assumes great significance against a background of addressing poverty reduction, environmental environmental concerns, livelihood issues, and the overall quality of life. And the last one is incentivize energy sector restructuring. Much of the industry will have to go through significant restructuring, causing local economic impacts. Financial incentives need to fund the transition to the clean energy economy and convert shattered fossil fuels plant to alternative such as data centers. Example is the Philippine Energy Plan seek to mainstream access of the larger populace through reliable and affordable energy service to fuel. Most importantly, local productivity and countryside development. The energy sector, mindful, mindful of its role in promoting better quality of life for the Filipino people and will ensure the delivery of secure, sustainability, sufficient, affordable, and environmental friendly energy to all economic sectors. And those are some of the steps towards sustainable economy.